Hey guys, this is Elvis, the tank destroyer, and I wanted to run over a couple of things here through a few maps, just some ideas that can be used in tournaments that you guys run. So, um, as you're all familiar with this map, pretty interesting idea that you can pull off on running through this map. And if you were to spawn from, let's say, this area here, as usually you may, and some mediums could spawn from the X's right there. um, it would be really interesting if well, it would be a good tactic for three tanks that have uh, they shouldn't be mediums. They should be somewhat maybe a heavy or something close to that, like a Type 58, for example. So if you were to roll three Type 58s or certain tanks that might be to that level on Tier 6, so we're talking about Tier 6, what you would do is from this side, you would all three tanks would rush all the way to A, for example. So they would rush all the way to A, and whatever enemy tanks that might be coming from there, three tanks usually are able to handle the situation. Um, but often, believe it or not, in tournaments, a lot of times that doesn't happen. It can, but it doesn't happen. And what you want to do is the three tanks that would be going to A would hold that position, bycap A, and then the other four tanks, what is actually surprising, they would have to push, but they can't be slow tanks either. They can be somewhat of TDs or heavies, but some of the heavies can kind of haul pretty well, and they would also come through here and run through this side. Now, if you are not challenged, the mediums, one of the mediums would end up right here, and he would hold that position, and the other one would cross right over and hold this position here exactly. Now, you don't want to be in this position where the yellow is. You want, because you can get sniped from there. You want to be in this position, and it's a very temporary position because that tank right there would eventually come over here, and the three tanks, the three heavies or TDs in that case, would all wait right here, and the third one would be sniping from right here as well, but keeping a low profile. And then the Type 58 is pretty good about that, just kind of keeping a low profile and exchanging fire. Now the job of this medium right here, I'm going to mark it yellow, is to spot. Don't attack. If you can, exchange some fire. If you can do that, that's fine. And what you want to do is this tank right here, which I just talked about, which is right there. He wants to make sure that nobody caps B. Nobody takes B cap. So as long as they don't take B cap, and it's very important that the first three tanks, which are right here at first, they cap that A base as quick as possible. And I mean quick. You have to get it first, because you want to get those points 20 or 30 points ahead of the enemy team that might be taking C. And that's one of the things that I bring up right now, is what happens next. I'm going to mark it blue. what happens next is the guys that actually were coming from here are waiting to rush right through here, because what you're waiting for is for the enemy to panic and get themselves in a position where they have to attack this tank and this tank and the one that was here. So once they move through here, and they're gonna have to, the caller or whoever is running the show is gonna run right around through them, put some firepower through them, and then this guy right here will have to, which will be the medium or whoever was capping A. So this guy right here, that was the whole time. I'm gonna undo this real quick, just to kind of show you. So this guy right here, his job is to make sure to fight him off as long as he can, and then eventually block them in where they can't really, just kind of give them a little panic. The team that's over here would come in and obliterate, and then the rest of the two guys would also help out, and that would just be that shock and awe, unexpected kind of where did they come from moment, and you'd have to focus fire. So there's really no other way to do this. So that's one way, and kind of run this through the team that you guys have and have them remember this position, how it all goes about. So like I said, real quick over, first three would go right here, and then one would go right here, second one would go right there, third one right here, the rest of the four would come around right here. Now they would sit here, they wouldn't engage, they wouldn't go across this area, because they want to sit back here and they don't want to be spotted too much. One okay, but not too many. Just kind of sit there and wait for that moment when it happens. The importance is really, what's really important is to cap this as quick as possible, and to make sure that this guy right here is making sure he's side scraping and making sure that nobody caps B. Once that happens, you will have 30 or 40 hit points on the timer higher than what they would have by the time they get C. So eventually the time is going to be running out around 600, 700, close to 1,000, 650, 700. You can expect them that they're going to start rushing. So they're going to have to come through here thinking that, there's only a couple guys here, let's go get them. But you guys would just come through here and eliminate the target. So yeah, that's a quick one. If you have any questions, let me know, but I think that kind of covers what you're supposed to do. All right, thanks guys.